Okay, hi guys. Welcome to the Grapplers Academy. Today is going to be a bit of an overview of the subject that we're going to be covering over the coming weeks, really. And we're going to be taking a bit of a focus onto strategy. Now, we've been looking to do this for a little while, but we've sort of wanted to take our time with it and develop a list of subjects that we're happy with and ensure that we can give you guys the best sort of content for it. It's something that me and Bond discuss quite thoroughly and quite frequently. And we're sort of excited to bring our experience and our knowledge of the area to you. Yes, we've had quite a few of these discussions, haven't we, Bom?
Yeah, I think it's one of those topics that kind of comes up in conversation regardless of what you're talking about, because really strategy is pretty much intermingled in all of jiu-jitsu, isn't it? It's there from the technique to how you approach your mindset for competition. It's there for how you're using your other training partners in the gym. There's basically nothing that you're doing in jiu-jitsu that doesn't involve strategy or execution of strategy. And we talked about a little bit of strategy when we were speaking with Shane Curtis on the previous episode as well, breaking down his match and his training history. And I think we kind of just felt between us that it was an important subject to get a bit of a head start on and get you guys in the fold of developing strategy for yourselves as well. So we're going to try and break it down into a couple of key compartments or components over the next couple of weeks. The first one of which is going to be like an introduction into getting back onto the mats after everyone's had such a long time off, and we still don't honestly know when we're going to be back on the mats, to be honest. I think it's really important to look at how to get back on the mats safely and develop a training strategy that's, one, going to keep you injury free, but two, kind of maximize your potential for training coming back in. I think that's probably an important subject to touch on first, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, imagine the disappointment you'd have in yourself when get there for your first session, really excited, and you go in that little bit too hard for that first session and you tweak something and you're off for more weeks. Like,
I've been there, mate. I've done it.
Yeah.
I had a couple of weeks off. I got a tattoo, had a bit of time off to let it heal up. Came back in, first session in, tore my ACL. Like, it's the way it goes. So I know firsthand experience that you've got to be careful with that stuff. So injuries is another one that we're going to be talking about, and how you can make the most out of training around your injuries, because it's jiu-jitsu. You're going to get injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way around that. Is that anyone who's done jiu-jitsu for long enough, the meme and the joke is like, you're not going to get your blue belt until at least you've had your first serious injury. So I think working around those and getting the most out of your training is probably an important topic of conversation as well to throw in there. Any other ones that you want to kind of give a brief overview of?
Yeah, like another one that especially resonates. I know I've had these quite a bit, especially when I've had like busy days with work and stuff, or just a lot going on with like uni, or like back when I was studying way back when. But like, how to maximize those bad days, when to say like go home and just take the night off or study tape, or whether to go in there and kind of pick your role selectively and have productive roles rather than just trying to beat yourself into the ground all the time. Because those days, they're more mentally draining than they are physically. And I'd probably say that they're one of the biggest reasons for people not coming back to the sport, having like just recurring bad days because they're not giving themselves time to recover and giving themselves that break.
And that's probably true. Like, most people can probably associate that with going to the actual gym to do a workout as well, can't they?
Yeah.
I've heard hundreds of times, and I'm sure you've heard the same, people just saying, oh, I can't be bothered going to the gym today, I just kind of skipped it. Like, and my advice to them is always to get in and do something, even if it's not what you initially intended to get in there and plan to do. So yeah, like I think that's probably a really important topic to talk about as well. And again, just like strategy overall, it's not, it's a broad subject. Like, if you've got a good understanding of it in one area, you might have a good way of strategizing. Like you said, you've been at uni. You're going to develop strategies at uni, how you can get yourself through your courses and your work. You're going to have a similar sort of strategy for how you conduct yourself at work, or how you get your work done. And the other thing that's good about strategy is how can you apply those lessons that you know elsewhere and bring them onto the mat. Because people who've got success in all different walks of life, there's loads of different people that step onto the jiu-jitsu mat. As I'm sure everybody who trains knows, it's quite a broad, diverse group of people. So how can you use that external knowledge and bring it into a successful development of your jiu-jitsu game?
Oh, definitely. And also the opposite side of that as well. So taking lessons that you learn from the mat onto just your day-to-day life. Like, I can draw upon like multiple examples where I can think that just the stuff that I've dealt with on the mats, from someone trying to squeeze my face off, and then dealing with something at work, and I've been like, do you know what? I've been through much worse pressure than this.
Yeah, and the other important thing is as well is it's like not just you've been through worse things than that. It's like being in that position, you can't just kind of sit there and let the situation take hold of you. You've got to put systems and moves into place to get you out of that bad position into a good position. So, you know, just using that sort of knowledge and looking at it in terms of a broader perspective is going to help you out massively. I think, you know, Jocko is one of the biggest, you know, he's out there shouting the praises of jiu-jitsu all the time. It's like, how can you take those lessons on the mat and apply them to those bigger, more pressing issues in your life? It's definitely one of the most important things I've done through my whole life is doing martial arts, and jiu-jitsu is probably the most applicable from what I've done across the board with everything. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I 100% agree. One of those prior to the sport, I didn't really have much direction, and coming into it gave me that little bit of focus, and I applied the same principles that I used to get better at jiu-jitsu to get better in other aspects of my life. And just like my jiu-jitsu, it's still got work.
I think we all know.
But no, I'd have to strongly agree with you there. But like, I think doing martial arts has been one of the most important things in my life. Most life-changing as well. So, and you make some really close connections and friends through it as well. Like some of my closest friends are from the mats, where you build some different kind of bond when you're trying to essentially kill each other. So it's such. Trying to explain some of it, it's very, very bizarre, isn't it?
I think the official medical or biological diagnosis of that is the release of oxytocin, isn't it? And basically what that boils down to is like you're in a stressful situation with somebody else, and then you've got that bonding experience afterwards, but nobody actually did die. So the plus side of it is like
simulating play fighting.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think it's just got such a massive positive impact on everyone. Like, how many people have come into the gym, new people to training, or maybe it's somebody on their first day, whether that's you down at ASW just training, or whether that's at Hive and you're coaching, and you just kind of watch their confidence explode over the first couple of weeks, or even after that first session. You know, you just see their eyes bug out, and it's like, wow, you just kind of exploded open in a whole new universe of thinking for them.
Oh, definitely. I think it's definitely worth a good conversation. So I lost my train of thought then.
So I'm right. Yeah, just talking about how jiu-jitsu opens up many doors for you both on and off the mats, and it's kind of just like a life-changing experience, isn't it? Getting on the mat for the first time and continuing with it.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, it's the long-term confidence growth as well that you notice.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's like you see it as a coach working with clients, like in a sort of PT personal training basis. But for me, the growth that I see as a coach on the mats, it kind of trumps it and just really takes over. And you get a lot more personal growth, I find, with training a combat sport. yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you've noticed the same similar thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things as well that I've noticed from jiu-jitsu and other martial arts in particular is like the eagerness and willingness from people to want to pass that information on to other people.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where, you know, you get a lot from it, but you also want to give that on to other people. And especially, you know, because you've been there in that position, everybody remembers that first training session where you were getting smashed. It's not a nice feeling. And coming into it, and you can see somebody who's just starting, and they maybe, you know, you can see that they're going through that process themselves, and encouraging them and passing that forward. I think that's a really important lesson as well.
oh, massively. But yeah, I think that's where it ties in nice. The strategy conversations and the subjects will follow really maximum and hopefully so that they push themselves forward and achieve goals that they want, but in a shorter space of time.
So I guess without any further ado, we probably just kind of wrap it up there, can't we? We can dive into the first one that we're going to be looking at is that reintroduction back into the mats on training. That's going to be available to check out for you guys on. We're going to get that one done for Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The shit joke, that one.
Sorry, the signal cut off there, so I didn't hear it.
Oh, sorry. I was saying this one will be up today, but they'll be watching that. Yeah.
Also, just a quick note before we finish off on here today, guys. Like, if there's any other topics regarding strategy or training in jiu-jitsu that you want us to cover, or you think are important for us to cover, leave it in the comments. Like, this is going to be one of those topics that just grows and expands. This strategy is everywhere. It's one of my favorite topics of conversation for jiu-jitsu and for everything. So if you've got anything that you want to add into it, feel free to add into it, whether it's on, you're going to contact us on the socials, or you want to leave us some comments on the YouTube videos. Like, anywhere we're going to find it, we're going to pick it up and add it in.
Yep.